I was going to talk to you a little bit about the sim testing that we've been doing in endoscopy. It is quite different to the educational simulation. It's they kind of call it transformational simulation or translational. Seems to have a lot of different names in the literature. But yeah, the sort of sim testing for the endoscopy rebuild project, and it's kind of a big project that we're doing. But the first stage that we've done at the moment is the tabletop sort of exercises that we've been doing. So I was just going to talk to you a little bit about that. So the endoscopy rebuild is happening in QMC, and basically what they're doing is they've all moved out of the department and they've rebuilt the whole space and added an extra room, adding new processes, and also adding like the kind of propofol procedures. So it's quite a big change for them. So the idea was for endoscopy to help do this sim testing to clarify the processes, develop shared mental models with staff, detect any latent errors and safety threats, things like that. And basically, what we also wanted to do at the same time was create a bit of a template and a standardized approach for sim testing that we could then use for other areas if they were approaching us for it, because we do get a lot of queries around sim testing, in situ sim testing, tabletop exercises, that kind of stuff. This is kind of where we are with the project. So we kind of had like an initial planning meeting, then we kind of met with the and endoscopy stakeholders. And this is kind of a bit of a weird project because, well, not weird, but I'm work for endoscopy as well. So for some of this stuff, I'm kind of meeting with myself about this and other people with both my sort of roles on. But we had the initial planning meeting, met with like the endoscopy stakeholders to work out what their kind of priorities were. Then we kind of did the tabletop planning, we did the tabletop simulations, and then we're sort of at the stage now where we're at the in situ simulation planning stage, and then we're going to do two lots of in situ. So we wanted to do some when they're kind of not quite finished with the building, kind of in the middle, so you could kind of identify stuff that might need changing. And then the second lot we were planning to do just before they move in, like a few days before, to test that everything's like working as it should. And then to go on to the unit opening. And that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we've had in a bit more detail, we've had that meeting and stakeholder meeting, and this is actually how it ended up working. The first one was sort of my idea, and then we actually turned out having we ended up doing 3 different tabletops just because of the time it took and more ideas that came for the tabletop. Um, so the first things we did were like working out who needs to attend. And it's really important that you have these exercises representatives from all the staff groups to have a plan for the pre-brief because you really want people to know exactly what they're doing there and why we're doing it, but also have that psychological safety that people feel able to speak up. And facilitate the people that we needed for it, the facilitator, which was me, a couple of observers, and arranging the audio recording. We planned all the scenarios, and then we kind of worked out what resources we needed, worked out the date, time, and space, and also planned to evaluate. And if you have no idea what tabletop is, I am going to show you. There you are. So this is what we did. Essentially, we got the 2D plan of the unit, put it on a table. Everyone sits around the table. You have to try and get everyone that will be involved in these processes because this is kind of what you're doing. You're talking through processes. So everyone that's there is represented on the board, should be represented around the table. And yeah, you basically like go through and talk through certain scenarios and encourage everyone to like move the pieces around the board and kind of facilitate that discussion about kind of like, all right, what do you need for this process? What needs to be in this room? How is this going to work? That sort of stuff. So that the idea being that you can kind of work out if there's any problems with the processes or clarify processes, kind of get that shared mental model of how things are going to work. And that's why it's so important to have all the staff groups there because they might think of things that they're the ones doing the jobs every day. They'll think, hang on, wait a minute, what about this? What about that? Kind of thing. So that was like the basic one that we did. So that's just kind of when we did the patient pathway walkthrough. So I did something like, I don't know, here's a day case patient, walk them through the pathway. So you'd start with them at reception and then you'd move them through and say, right, who needs to meet this patient? And that's where you start bringing the other little staff in. So all the little people represent different staff groups. And then you've also got like different, you can see the trolleys that we've got in the top right hand corner. The red box is the arrest trolley and the little cone person is the coordinator. And it's kind of like moving it around like that to for everyone to kind of get that sort of shared mental model and sort of thinking through the scenarios before you actually get onto the unit. And then yeah, we gave them a little key of who everybody is, and like who the different colours are. And then this was a bit more of a complex one that we did. So we literally said, okay, so in endoscopy we'll have room lists. So at the top, sort of middle, you can see that we've got like the list cards. So here's what's going on in this room in the morning and the afternoon. Here's your patients. And then the other cards that you can see are like patient cards. And they've got a bit more. I think I've got an example. Yeah, so that's the patient card. So they would kind of say, this is who they are, this is when their appointment time is and what they're coming for. And you can also sit, also on there, we could put, if they've had the procedure already, they'd have things on there like, this is what their news to is, this is where they are in the procedure. So then when you went through the scenarios, they've got a bit more information, because then you can also move the patients about and say, okay, this is the lay of the land, these are all the patients that you've got, and then this happens, for example. So one of the scenarios we used was like, there's an emergency in recovery, like an anaesthetic emergency with a propofol patient, and the anaesthetist is busy in room 1 with another patient because they're already in the room. What are you going to do about it? And then you can kind of see where all your patients are and what state they're at, so that you can kind of move your pieces around and work out who would need to go where and who would need to be called, what process do we need to kind of follow in this sort of situation. So yeah, and you can see the pieces that we've got there. So the scenarios this is how we kind of plan the scenarios, and these are just some examples of them, of like the scenario on the left hand side. So this is what we're doing with them, and then any particular considerations and like the setup, what you need to do with it. And then we got the people that were watching, so that we had 2 observers were writing down things around the processes, tasks, things like that. Using this is based on SEEPS, if you've ever heard of that. It's a bit of a sort of like a human factors systems model, sort of systems thinking around spaces and things that you can put in there. And we also recorded it so that we could listen to it back. Yeah, those are the patient cards that we used. And then after this, the observers wrote up the findings and recommendations using the SEEPS approach, and we recorded the conversations. So this was a new thing. We weren't sure how this was going to work, but we basically recorded it and then put it into Word, basically put the MP3 file into Word. It transcribes it, and then we put it through Copilot to summarize it. And it was actually surprisingly good in terms of what it summarised and how we asked it to do a SEEPS analysis of it, and it's just quite good for checking that you've got everything, because you have observers, but you always, if you're listening to conversations and writing at the same time, you might miss things. So it was very good for that, and for looking through the transcript back when you were writing up the recommendations. And basically we used all those, we kind of used this to create like a big task list of all the things that we needed to clarify and check with the new processes, and then also we use that to inform the next tabletop exercises. And like some of the outcomes from these tabletop exercises were like, we need to sim this very specific activity, we need to do that as a in situ sim, on sim testing on the unit. And then we did an evaluation. So basically we debriefed among the sim team, and to see how we thought it went. We thought it went very well. We managed to get quite a lot of people around the table and managed to get full representation. We also got a really good conversation generated. One of the things we were worried about was that because you've got that skill mix there, so you've kind of got endoscopists, you've got nurses, HCAs, admin, that not everyone would be able to feel able to speak up, but they did, and generated some really good discussion, and come up with some really important points. And then we also did an evaluation with the team that did it, so to see whether they understood why they were doing it, whether the scenarios were relevant, whether they felt able to speak up, and if they had any suggestions for improvement. They were all very positive about it, and the suggestions for improvement were just sending out some information beforehand, and also to basically, because I'm very familiar with this 2D map, I feel like I could draw it now, because I've spent so long looking at it in endoscopy, but other people didn't, so we had to kind of orientate them to the space. So maybe sending that out beforehand and also sending the scenarios out beforehand was a bit of a learning point. And the hardest bit of this whole thing was getting everyone in the room together. I would say, so trying to coordinate everyone to get together in the room, and can be a bit time intensive writing all the scenarios. And we found that in the first one that we did, we only managed to run 2 scenarios out of the 7 that I had planned in the 3 hour, I think we were 2 or 3 hours. So that's sort of realistic time expectation. And also, like I say, about sending information out. And we've got multiple findings from it that can be planned for the new unit. And they've actually come back to us and asked for more of them. So they've come back to ask for more tabletops as more problems have been found with the unit or asked to do new things, they've come back to us and said, hey, could you actually do us another tabletop so we can play out this new scenario that we've been asked to do? So that's been really, we felt that was pretty positive, that they are finding it useful. So the next steps, we're creating blank templates and tabletop planning sheets and things like that so that we can do it for further people when they come. We're following up all those actions in endoscopy, planning for the sim testing on the new unit, and then, like I say, we're doing the 2 new in situ sim testing planned for next to try and detect any latent errors and just clarify those processes and working in the new space, basically. So that's a little bit of a whistle top of that.